In 2004, I was in Chile with a colleague and old friend of mine, the composer and multi-instrumentalist English musician Richard Harvey, who had already written a concerto for me, and we play a lot of chamber music together. But we were in Chile together, and we were looking up a very old friend of mine. His name is Horacio Salinas, the Chilean composer and musician, actually one of the founders and the musical director and composer for the great Chilean group Inti Illimani. And the discussions came up a bit. I'd always wanted to, as it were, give some of the instrumental music of the Inti Illimanis a wider or a context different from their originals, which would get through to, in a sense, more people, communicate to a wider audience. And so I'd always wanted somehow to rearrange those pieces. I couldn't think of a way of doing it. But when Richard, myself and Horacio were together in Chile in 2004, we came up with the idea of a kind of triple concerto. So it's actually called Danzas, Peregrinas, Pilgrims' Dances. And it is a really collection of 5 pieces of Horacio's that were originally part of their repertoire, but played and usually featuring guitar in the originals anyway. First one was a lovely, just a prelude to a dance, but had very lovely textures for 2 guitars, it actually was. And then it continued in that vein, but in this lovely new version is with cello. So you have a cello and guitar duo with just the playing lovely texture like that. And then the second piece is a rather well-known dancer of that all the Inti fans, all the people that are fans of Chilean traditional music were. Etc. And the second movement is was really the third, because you have the prelude and the dance. It's a wonderful song called Palimpsesto. The palimpsests are those old tablets where history is overlaid and rewritten, and it relates, in the Inti's case, the Inti Illimani's case, to when they were exiled in Europe during the dictatorship in Chile, and so that music gets new influences and old tunes get new versions, etc. That's the idea of the song. But it is in fact a wonderful poem, and they used to sing it purely without instruments. But he did an absolutely lovely version for for us in this piece. Etc. The fourth dance is it's probably their most popular piece, and was always done as an encore, and was great in this big orchestral version, because it sounded like a big street band. I can only remind you of the tune where it's called El Mercado Testaccio. I think it's a market in Rome, I think. But it's a very popular piece, played on the charango. And this piece, because I mentioned earlier about Richard Harvey and myself being with Horacio Salinas, we were also with Horacio Duran. Horacio Duran is the great iconic charango player. You know, the charango is the lovely little instrument from the Andes. It used to be made out of a little armadillo shell. And he, in fact, was the idea of this piece as a triple concerto would be for myself, Richard Harvey, and Horacio Duran. So it's us 3 with the orchestra. You know, that particular movement, the El Mercado, is fantastic with the orchestra, because we've got the trumpets, and a big contrabassoon like the Umpar band, you know. It sounds like a huge big street band in Fiesta going along the street. And the last movement, Danza de Cala Luna, another well-known one of theirs. Etc. like that. So that's the Danzas Peregrinas.